Coach Todd Graham, come on in here.
All right. How we doing, guys?
Good,
Great.
Coach Graham.
And, I guess the first thing is congratulations, as Donnie Annis pointed out. No surprises today, and that's a good thing.
No surprises, and coming in today, we had, we took a couple of transfer wide receivers that are going to be special, John Humphrey and Ryan Newsom. So we only had 23 initials this year, but we only graduated 18 scholarship players. So we signed 19 and had very limited spots on offense, but I feel really good about what we did there as far as, how we improved our explosiveness, especially at the running back position. Eno leading that group there. And then, obviously I think it's one of the best, if not the best, quarterback classes that we've signed with the two young men that we've added in that area. And then obviously defense was a big focus. The pass rush was a big deal. Doug Suttle, a guy that people remember from last year, but didn't make it and wound up making it here now. Big-time pass rusher, and Tyler Johnson, I think, are two guys that are really going to help improve our football team. Then we needed help in the back end. That was the big focus for us, and felt like we did a solid job. Evan Fields is a guy that we're really excited about, that safety position, and then Alex Perry is a guy that we think is really a good corner. Now there's lots of other good guys in that group. That's kind of the highlights of what today was about, and felt like we met the needs that we needed to meet, and then signed the best kicker, I think, in the country.
I would agree with that.
Yes, sir.
And we needed to, because we just we're replacing the best kicker in the country. So no, I think it was a really solid day. We don't like to have surprises today unless it's a good surprise, but really proud of our staff and how hard they worked. Donnie Yantis has been phenomenal in his first year. The work and the organization and the tireless effort that he put in has been really big for us, and also our staff. It's been it's always a challenge this time. January is a challenge every year with coaching changes and all the things that come along with it. But to going into spring camp, I've got a lot of confidence in our team because of what happened today.
Well, Coach, first I would just like to say you are looking extra clean today. I'm loving the suit and the boots, the maroon. He is looking fresh today, but also want to congratulate you on a great recruiting class. And now, everything is getting ready to get started, especially with spring ball. And I know the theme is the guys that were signed today are going to bring a lot of competition to this group on the offensive side of the ball and the defense. Where do you see all of this folding into once spring ball gets started?
Well, obviously, each year recruiting is the lifeblood of your program.
Mm-hmm.
Personnel is what drives everything, and first and foremost, your staff, who you hire, who you put together, the chemistry and the continuity there, and I think I feel really confident in what we've been able to do there. And then bringing in guys that I like the maturity of the guys in this class. You look at Doug Suttle coming in, Blake Barnett. I talked about Ryan and John. We're adding some guys that are veterans that are ready to play at a high level, and then a lot of young talented guys that I think are going to be guys that compete to help us. But the big thing, I have a great belief in the guys that are already here,
right,
and where we're at. And our guys are hungry to get back out on the field and go to work this spring and get everybody healthy and ready to go and start building for a championship run in 17.
I know one of the other things that you're really proud of with this recruiting class is so many of them have already been admitted into the Barrett Honors College. It really speaks to what this school does to attract student athletes.
Yeah, I mean, it's we want the best and the brightest with the best character that best fit us. And so what I feel really good about is this entire recruiting class, overall GPA combined 3.06. And so this is a scholar baller recruiting class, right. And that's something that's important to us. And obviously the young men we got going into Barrett is we want them to compete at the highest level academically. I think us and Stanford had the most players on all academic team last year. We've had 2 scholar athletes of the year, and obviously over 70 scholar ballers every year. And I think we had the only team in the conference had 2 4.0 student athletes in football.
Right.
So those are things that I think really talk about the culture that we have and what we've built, and we're very proud of that. We're also very focused and determined to go and compete for championships, and that's what our guys are hungry for. and I've got a great belief in the guys we've got in here. I think we've got have done a great job, and I think the university as well as our program has attracted. I think I've been able to attract really good coaches that we've been able to put together and be able to lead this team. So I'm excited. I'm excited about 2017. I'm ready to get out there in spring and get rolling, and I'm anxious to get out there and compete.
There's a couple other things I just want to touch on very briefly. You mentioned the coaching and the hires that have been made in the last couple of weeks, and you're right. I think just the resumes that you're bringing into this program, from Rob Likens to Phil Bennett and so forth, it just you've hit home runs every hire you've made.
Well, it's just like signing date. You know, everybody gets all excited about rankings, and we always talk about this is the best group ever. You don't find out how good they are until they start playing. Same thing from the coaching standpoint. I've got a lot of confidence in the process and how we go about doing things. The great thing is we have coaches that believe in our vision now. We're not changing anything about our vision. That'll adapt to the skills and talents of the players that we have. We're going to design our system and scheme for our players, and these guys have been recruited to run a certain style and a certain system, and we're looking to improve that system. And obviously, I think that when it comes to the things that you got to do, that comes to, being able to be physical in coverage and being able to play man coverage. I think we're going to be a lot better there. I think that, as far as our ability to affect the passer and pass rush, we're going to be better there. I think as far as overall explosiveness on offense, we're going to be better there. So we got a lot of things to be excited about, but you got to do it on the field. The whole deal is with our coaching staff and everybody is that we're ready to go and compete, and I think these guys have worked it really hard, and I'm really confident in the staff that we've put together. Billy Napier and Josh Henson as co-coordinators on offense, and Billy being the lead coordinator. You got a guy that took Missouri to the SEC championship back-to-back years as an offensive coordinator, coaching our offensive line and heading up our running game. And then you got Billy Napier, who's his resume speaks for itself. Guys that he's won national championships and wants to come here, wants to be a part of what we're doing, and feels like that we've got great promise here. And then Rob Liken, I've been so impressed with Rob. That's three guys that have been coordinators, and Rob, I like Rob's tie in the Pac-12 and the success he's had at developing receivers that are still playing at the next level when he was at Cal. And I love the fact that he spent time with Bobby Wallace, who I think is one of the best coaches in college football history. So I'm really, really pleased there. And then they'd be able to hire Coach Bennett. Coach Bennett is a guy that I've studied under and learned and taught me a lot about defensive football and what he brings and his expertise here. So I feel really good about where we're at from a staff standpoint. But on the same hand, we're going to adapt to our players. We're going to adapt to what they can do. I'm really confident in our staff. And on the same hand, you got to get everybody on the same page, and you'll find out how good everybody says how great our signing class is. You don't know how good a signing class is till it plays.
Right.
Yep.
And same thing with the coaching staff. But I know this. I'm excited, and I know the group that we have here. I've never felt as much energy and synergy as we have on this staff. I'm very grateful to Keith Patterson and to TJ Rushing and John Simon and the guys that have been on this staff that really, when you have that kind of change, it's a challenge in recruiting. And Donnie Yant has headed up the whole bunch. That those guys did a tremendous job. That we didn't lose anybody we had committed. Other than getting the best guys that we wanted to get late. But, not to be able to keep this class together the way they did a tremendous job.
I've got one last question, and I've been encouraged to ask this from several people. What was the best meal you had on the road recruiting?
Well, let's see. It was Tony's Seafood in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Ooh,
Pretty good.
That just
Got some
sounds
good food down there.
Pretty amazing. And Drago's wasn't bad either in New Orleans. So.
I know about
So that
Drago.
was pretty good. But as far as home visits, I love recruiting. I love meeting mom and dad and aunt and uncles and grandmas and grandpas, and even the kids that didn't come here. I enjoy getting to meet people and to see young men at such a crossroads in their life that are working hard and so determined and driven to make their life a success. And so I just love recruiting. I enjoy that process. I enjoy getting to go into the homes and do those things. And that's what I always say. I always wish the guys that didn't come here the very, very best as well. But it was pretty special, pretty neat for us, and it's seeing a lot of people in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and it's quite an effort, and obviously today a tremendous day for Arizona State football, and you mentioned all the people responsible for it. Everyone did a terrific job. Congratulations, Coach.
Yeah, congrats, Coach.
And we'll see you at spring ball.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
Let's
to
tee it up and go.
I think people need to come out and check it out because it's going to be exciting.
I
we're
think
gonna
so.
get 'em
And you
out there.
can check it out April 15th at the spring game at Sun Devil Stadium, which is also a select-a-seat day, and we're all advising you get season tickets because single games are going to be kind of hard to come by. And we thank you, Coach, for being with us.